have you culture if you want to address the wealth gap. Do you get what I'm saying? So sitting around smoking weed all day, that's bad culture. That's promoted through media. It kills black family wealth on a daily basis, and I don't like it. With that said, let's go back to your question about sundial growers. I think sundial growers, if you're in the cannabis space and you want to invest there, which I am invested in that space. I don't know if that makes me sound like a hypocrite or not, but I do have investments there because I believe Joe Biden is not going to finish his presidency. I believe Kamala Harris is going to take over as president. My theory is that Kamala is going to then begin to help with the legalization of the cannabis space. I think that's good. I think that's necessary. I know people that run cannabis facilities and they have to operate like drug dealers. They got to put their money in vaults. They can't even put their money in a bank. They got to have big vaults with armed guards on the facility. Last time I checked, just to protect their money. That's crazy. You send money across state lines without risking getting a felony and all that. That is ridiculous. The federal government needs to, and they will at some point, I hope, come along with a process that allows legitimate cannabis company owners to do business without feeling like they might get sent to prison because they sent some money to somebody in Montana or something. I believe that's going to occur, and when that does occur, a lot of these cannabis companies are going to grow. I would encourage you, in addition to sundial growers, don't bet on one cannabis company. I would diversify, either buy shares in a lot of different companies, or maybe just go get one of these mutual funds that invest in cannabis, and that will allow you to spread your money out and have your money in different spaces. Just for the record, though, I hope you didn't sell your shares in sundial growers, because if you look this morning, sundial growers shot way up. A lot of times that which goes down does come back up. And so if you are riding the Bronco as an investor, like if you're really, they call it paper hands versus diamond hands or something like that. If you're really diamond hands, meaning that you're in it to win it, you're committed. Think of it like a marriage or a relationship. If you're in a relationship and you want that relationship to last and you believe in that relationship, then be in that relationship. You can't dip, because here's the thing: if you give it 100%, you may still fail. But if you're wishy-washy, you will definitely fail. So by being wishy-washy as opposed to being consistent, you've gone from having, say, a 20% chance of failure to having an 80% chance of failure. So if you like sundial growers and you've analyzed the company, and again, if you go to the drboycemethod.com, I show you guys what my process is for picking a company that I want to ride with. It's like it's like me getting married to the company. So when I pick a company that I want to ride with, you know what I do? When the stock price drops, I buy the dip, because I believe in this company as a good long-term investment. And this is one of my adopted kids, financially speaking. And once I just put you in my economic family as a company, we're in it together, But think about it: if you adopt 15 kids and they become teenagers, they start acting all crazy. But if you're committed to the kid, you're going to deal with their crazy teenage years. You're going to deal with their mood swings, right? Because you made a choice. So I believe in investing with conviction, because if you don't invest with conviction, whether you're investing in stocks or investing in people, then not investing with conviction will make you wishy-washy. Wishy-washy people don't get ahead in this world. The people that get ahead in this world are the people who know who they are, they know what they want to do, they've thought it out carefully, and they're in 158.4%. Do you understand? So sundial growers went up. So if you didn't sell and you bought some more, then guess what? Today you made money. You lost money a couple weeks ago, but you made money today. All right. So let me dig in. Actually, I told you guys I wanted to read a list of the top 10 jobs in America. This is according to CNBC. They said these are the 10 best jobs in the U.S. in 2022. And let's see, I don't know what the criteria is. They said the perfect job doesn't exist, but the most popular sought after roles have a few attributes in common: competitive salaries, a positive workplace culture, and clear opportunities for career advancement. According to new research from Indeed, many of the top jobs are seeking rapid growth and offering six-figure salaries. On Tuesday, Indeed released its latest report highlighting the 20 best jobs in America for 2022, focusing on positions with an average annual salary of at least $75,000. So first thing I'm going to say is I'm reading this list to you with a caveat. When my kids talk to me about dream jobs, I stop the conversation before it even begins. I say we don't dream of, in this house. There is no such thing as a dream job. There is no such thing as a dream job. We don't dream about labor. We don't dream about servitude. We see servitude and labor as a necessary evil to not get to the dream job, but to get to the dream. I don't want my kids to get to the dream job. I want my kids to get to the dream. And so really, if you're thinking like an investor, jobs are something that you may have to do, and many of us work. I mean, we've all worked for somebody. Many of us, almost all of us, have worked for somebody at some point. Give me a yes in the chat if you've ever worked for somebody or you work for somebody now. I'm not making fun of you because I've done that too. Just a few years ago, I worked at Syracuse University. So I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that in order for you to elevate in the world of wealth, you must feed yourself a mindset that is going to lead to that level of elevation. You must set standards that are high enough that they're going to elevate you into the position that you want to be in. And we don't dream of labor. We don't dream of servitude. Uh, Talking to me about a dream job is like saying, "What is your favorite prison? Like what's the night? What is your dream prison?" Well, there's no such thing as a dream prison. That's an oxymoron. That those statements conflict with each other. Now there are prisons that are not as bad as other prisons. There are places where if you have to be in servitude, you can be comfortable. Like if they give you the nicest prison in America, I'm sure that it's pretty nice compared to the other prisons. But the goal is not to find the nicest prison you can find. The goal is to not be in prison. Do you understand? So the dream job is not the goal. The goal is the dream. Freedom is the dream. Freedom is the goal. The job is a maybe a necessary stepping stone because some of you were born in prison. Let's just be clear. Some of us, I'm not even gonna say you, some of us were born in prison. So if you are born in prison, then yeah, you say, look, I want to get out of Pelican Bay so I can get to the really nice facility in Montana where they let you have cupcakes every other Tuesday and they we can play basketball, right? You do that, right? So because you're born in prison, you dream about a better prison. But remember, the big dream, the real dream, is freedom to get out of jail completely. Jail should not even be anywhere in your life. Okay, so economic jail is not the place for you. I want you to get into a space, and this is definitely possible if you do what I say. If you listen to me, again, you're talking to a financial expert. I know money the way Michael Jordan knows basketball. And if you listen to what I'm explaining to you guys, then you can develop a pathway not just for yourself, but more importantly, a pathway for your children to live a life where they are making money without working. So that's my dream for my kids. We don't talk about jobs. I say, look, you've got a capital base, you've got everything rich people need to be free. I need you to not be a knucklehead and not waste the family resources. That's the goal now, is to teach you how to protect the wealth that we have, so that you can preserve your freedom. Freedom must be defended. No country on this earth has ever had freedom without having to fight for it, and no country on this earth has ever had freedom without having to defend it. If you cannot defend your freedom, then you will lose it. So when you get access to wealth, if you cannot defend that wealth and protect that wealth by being a smart steward of that wealth, then you're going to lose the wealth, and then you have to go right back into jail. Okay, so let me read the top jobs in America. I'm going to go through the list pretty quickly. Number one, they list as registered nurse. Nurse. The average salary is $84,000. The percentage of growth in the number of job openings is 34%. Shout out to all the nurses because y'all are so important, especially in this day and age. Associate or bachelor's degree in nursing, passed the National Council licensure exam for registered nurses. Optometrist is number two. Optometrists make an average of $118,000 a year. The percentage of growth in job openings is 121%. Wow, 121%. That's a big deal. Three is site reliability engineer. Holy crap, that just sounds like a boring job, but it pays 137,000 a year. The percentage number of growth in job openings, 175%. So think about this, right? So if you're a site reliability engineer, let's say an SRE, you can take that 137,000 a year. You can invest 25% of that, which would be, I don't know, 30, 40,000, whatever. And you can put that into your stocks, into a side hustle, into all these things. Your children could be millionaires by the time they're 30. You could quit your job within the next few years. You take some of that money, put that into learning how to start a business or learning how to come together with your family members to buy real estate. Next thing you know, you don't have to do that job anymore because instead of making 137,000 a year, you're now making 137,000 a month. I've seen this transformation happen on a thousand times over. I want that to happen for you. Number four is a real estate agent. Their average salary is $82,015. The growth in job openings is 23%. You just need a high school diploma and to pass the real estate exam. I think that's great. Real estate's awesome because Actually, in the Black Business School, we actually have some real estate agents like Stephanie DeBerry. She actually teaches people how to become real estate agents. So if you go to the Black Business School or reach out to our support team, support at theblackbusinessschool.com, they can connect you to that. But the interesting thing about that to me is there's a lot of hidden power in being a real estate agent besides your salary. When you know your way around real estate, you have the keys to the kingdom because you know how to find the best deals. You know what to look for when you make an investment in a property. Real estate is one of those areas that benefits tremendously when there's a lot of inflation, like there is now. When inflation happens, asset inflation is what tends to occur. So the value of all assets, real assets, goes up. Commodities and stocks and real estate. So I think that if I'm a real estate agent, I'm thinking about the fact that if I can go find people that can help me put up the initial capital to make some investments in property, I can go to the next level. Let me give you a real life example. Donald Trump's father, Fred. I read Donald Trump's bio in his family going back 100 years. Donald Trump's father, Fred, was born in 1913 in the middle of the Great Depression, right after his father had died. His father died when he was about 13, 14 years old during the Roaring 20s. In the 1930s, Donald Trump's father used to fix houses for rich people. They would go, the real estate developers would buy property. They would pay Donald Trump's father, Fred, to fix the property. He started looking around and noticing how much money people were making by buying these properties and flipping them and all that. So he said, instead of fixing the property, I'm going to go buy the property. I know where the best deals are. So he started buying up property. So by the time Donald was born in 1946, his father was already a millionaire. So when Donald was 25 years old, his father was able to do the things that you're going to do for your children. His father, Fred, said, son, you ain't got to worry about student loans. You don't have to worry about working for other people. Here's $25 million to get you started. Go run this company. And then what Donald did was Donald was able to avoid wasting time. Like a lot of you had to waste time because you spent 10, 20 years struggling because nobody left you any kind of a nest egg. He was able to jump right in the game. So at the age of 28, Donald was light years ahead of the crowd. He was able to buy a $400 million hotel at the age of 28. Think about that. That was in the 1970s or 60s, I guess. He bought a $400 million hotel at 28 years old. That's crazy, right? So again, I'm not telling you whether you should vote for him or not. I don't think he's a great politician, to be honest with you. But just understand, this is how the game is played. This is what wealthy people do for their kids. And it wasn't like his father was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His father had a single mother, and he was 13, 14 years old trying to find a way to support the family. So mindset is everything when it comes to where you position yourself in this game. He could have easily kept building and fixing houses for rich people or whatever. He could have become a real estate agent or something, right? But you got to always think, like, what's the highest level of this game I can go to? And that's when you work yourself out of the job. You got to buy your freedom at some point. That's a mandate for everybody in here. So that's why you listen to me. That's what I do. I show you, I want to explain freedom to you. I don't want to help you be comfortable with servitude. Number 5 is pharmacists. Pharmacists make $101,000. They're very smart, though. They have to do a lot of school, but the growth in the number of positions is huge, 83%. That's a big deal. 6, over-the-road truck driver. So truck drivers are making big money, 102,000. The percentage of growth in job openings, 242%. I believe this is connected to the pandemic. There was a supply chain problem, so I think a lot of companies needed truck drivers. They had to pay them more money. The requirement is a high school diploma or equivalent, a commercial learner's permit, CLP, and a commercial driver's license, CDL. Number 7, software engineer, 126,000. The percentage growth in job openings, 87%. You have to have an associate degree, a bachelor's degree, optional certifications. Next, number 8, nurse practitioner, 128,000. 100% growth in job openings. Number 9, product designer, 113,000. It's the salary, and 128% growth in job openings. Number 10 is a solar consultant. A solar consultant makes $121,329. Growth in job openings 131%, associate or bachelor's degree, and I guess a solar consultant is maybe somebody who consults on solar power or something, because that's, I guess, the way of the world. So those are the top 10 jobs that are listed on CNBC according to Indeed.com. So if you're thinking about careers or you're talking to your kids about careers, and they may have to work for a while in order to get started, that's fine. But the number one advice I give any young person that talks to me when I talk to anybody that's going to college, is in college, or sending a kid to college, is I say every black child should know how to start a business, because at some point you're probably not going to want to work for other people, or at some point you're going to want more than what you have. At some point you're going to want to level up in your life. You teach them that entrepreneurship so that when the time comes, they know how to level up. And then also they know how to gather resources, like they know how to approach people and say, hey, I have a business idea and a business deal. Can you, why don't we pull our money together and make this happen? So Lids, I didn't, let's see here. So your question, if you put your question, if you sent your question in advance, Lids, I'm going to answer all of those. If you put it in the chat, I didn't see it, but if you put it in the Q&A section, I will grab it today. So let's see here. All right, so Natasha, Sundial Growers, good luck to you with Sundial. I hope that you make a ton of money on your cannabis investments. I don't think that you're making a bad decision by being in the cannabis industry, because I'm in there too. Let's see. Teresa says, what is margin debt? What are margin calls? What is a short trade versus a long trade? Margin debt basically is a loan. Margin is basically money that is loaned to you to kind of give you, I guess, a margin of error or an extra margin of investing. It's money loaned to you to allow you to buy more stock than you could buy with the money that you have. So if you have $10,000 to invest, and I give you, margin of say 50% or something, I'm going to give you an extra $5,000 that you can use to buy stock. Now, here's the thing: the person loaning you the margin, like if you get margin on Robinhood or something like that, they will, um, they will, um, they will charge you interest on that loan, and all they care about is getting their money back plus their interest. The losses belong to you. So if you put in 10 and then you get $5,000 worth of margin, if the value of that stock drops by $1,000, then your equity value goes down to 9,000. That's it. They don't lose anything. They're still going to get their $5,000. Period. So ultimately, a margin call is when the amount of your equity drops so low that they need you to put up more cash to secure the deal. They're loaning you money because they believe you to be a good credit risk. The less skin you have in the game, the less you're invested in the entity, the more risk they're taking on. So what they basically are saying to you is that, as the price drops, it looks like this car could crash. We need you to be in the car too. We need you to put your whole butt in the car, because if you can't put more money into this, then we're out of the deal. We're going to call our money back and protect our capital before it gets ugly. Okay. All right. So let me see here. Next question. Jan says, I'm going through the Black Money 102 series. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So Jan, I see your question. You're asking about the material in 102, the archives, and the expanded. The expanded should be different from 102. The archives are basically, let me see. Did I lose you? Did I freeze? Hold on. Can you guys see me? Am I still there? Give me a yes if you can see me, okay? Because I want to make sure I'm coming through all right. All right, because it looked like I froze for a second. Okay, good. All right, yeah, if I disappear, just hold on. I'll come right back. Um, so yeah, the material should be the same. It's not the same. Sorry about that. The material supplement. So the advanced material is in addition to the regular material. Now the archives are basically old material that we put into an archive to separate it from the main program, where we're adding new stuff every week. So every week I'm adding these Q&A sessions. I'm adding class sessions. We're adding extra instructional stuff, things like that. So sometimes you might see a little bit of overlap. If you see it, I'd say just ignore that. But there's so much stuff in there. I mean, it's crazy, because I do these sorts of trainings on a regular basis, and there's literally about 7 years worth of stuff in there now, and or maybe it's 6 years or something. But I save everything so that if you sit and you just listen to me talk about investing for a long period of time, you will become a better investor. Don't feel like you have to sit down and take exams and memorize things. I'd rather have you understand it by just us talking about it, just like your dad talking to you about fixing cars or something. If you have enough conversations, eventually you'll get comfortable with it. Another thing to do that you can do is, if you log in at the blackstockmarketprogram.com, you can actually speed it up. I've seen people where you can hit a button on the top right hand corner of the video that speeds it up to 150%, so you can get through more material faster that way. So I would encourage you guys to try that as a way to get through more material in a quicker fashion. All right, so Jan says, what would, in your opinion, would be an excellent guide to understand everything there is to know about IRAs? I found some guides on Google, But I want to choose something that is detail oriented, easy to understand at the same time. I will go to Investopedia. Investopedia is a good place to, if you're trying to learn like specific rules about IRAs, 401k, stuff like that. You can get online, just go to investopedia.com, and they've got, definitions and stuff like that that can help you. Let's see here. So Jan, let's see. I see your third question. Try to submit like 2 per week. That way we can, make sure we get everybody's question. I received 4 prospectuses for ESG funds and Acorns. I Googled how to read a prospectus for educational purposes. The guide said to assess the fund critically, taking into account long and short-term performance. How do I assess the appropriate benchmark for those prospectuses? Okay. All right, Jan. So what I would say here is reading a prospectus is gonna make you feel better about your life. It's a lot. It can be fun if you're into that sort of thing, and it certainly can be educational on a certain level. One thing you're not going to typically get, even I couldn't get this as an expert. I've been teaching college students for a long time. You know that. Um, you're not gonna get insight that will tell you whether or not this fund is gonna do well or not do well. There's 1,000 research papers written on stuff like this, and I know people tell you to go through the balance sheet and look at this, look at that. I think that information is good just so you know what you're getting into, right? So if you're reading through a company's annual reports and prospectuses and financials, what you're learning are just characteristics. So it's like if somebody, let's say my goal was to figure out if you are a bad person or a good person, right? My goal is to figure out if you're ever going to do anything to hurt another person. And let's say that the only information I get though is what someone tells me. They say, "Oh, well, today they're wearing sneakers and jeans, and they ate Cheerios for breakfast, and she has 2 kids, and she has a job, and whatever, right? She works at Arby's or something, right? That information might tell me certain things, but it's not going to tell me what I'm really trying to figure out. If I'm trying to figure out if you're a good person or a bad person, I probably have to be in your life and follow you around and watch what you do for a long period of time. I'd have to be like your best friend or something where you tell me all your secrets. That's how I can learn what kind of person you are. All that other information is just a report. What you wear, how tall you are, how much you weigh. That's just information that might tell me other things. It might tell me, like if someone tells me you're wearing blue jeans today, that tells me that you're not a runner because you don't run with blue jeans. Maybe you have some, or you or if someone tells me you have 2 kids, that tells me, oh, you probably have had sex at some point in your life because you have to have sex to have children. I can figure out things like that, but I can't figure out, or better yet, if you're a mom, it tells me that you spend a lot of time taking care of your kids. So if I'm thinking about dating you, I might know, okay, she's a mom, so dating a mom might be different from dating someone who's not a mom, right? But for the most part, in order for me to really figure out what kind of person you are, I don't have enough information for that, right? But I have information for other things. So the prospectus is the same way. A company will never be able to tell you, a fund is never going to be able to tell you whether they're going to make money next year or not based on the prospectus. They're not. But the prospectus has information. Like they'll tell you, well, we make our money because we have diamond mines and we have 10 mines in Africa and 4 mines in India. And we also diversify by investing in silver and gold and tech stocks or whatever. And that will tell you the general dynamics of the company in terms of what they do, what line of business they are in. So I think that understanding that can be important. Like if I'm invested in a cannabis company, I want to know I'm invested in a cannabis company. I can also look up maybe the history of the stock price to see what the volatility looks like, how long the company's been in business. I can see if the company's profitable or not. I can see how much debt they have. But the ability to predict the stock price is a whole different arena. Because remember, all that information that you're looking at in the prospectus is already in the stock price. There are supercomputers on Wall Street that take in every bit of public information that is available anywhere, and they come up with what they call price discovery. There's a price discovery process that uses mathematical equations that are so complex that they will make your head spin, and they come up with a price. So there's nothing that you're going to get from reading the prospectus that's going to allow you to sort of override or understand that process better than the supercomputer can. So, so that's what I would say. I would say if you want to read the prospectuses and all that, I don't do it that often. All I want to know is, I want to know about maybe the quality of the company's management. I want to know what line of business they're in. I want to see how the stock's done lately, see if it's kind of had a little bit of a dip. I want to look at the general economy, things like that. I don't sit around and read through annual reports and prospectuses, unless I'm just really curious about the company. It's a black-owned business. I want to see what they're doing, something like that. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on the issue. And by the way, and just a reminder, if you go to thedrboycemethod.com, I break down in 11 steps my method for picking stocks. So feel free to go to the drboycemethod.com if you'd like a step-by-step in terms of knowing what to add to your portfolio. All right. Okay. So I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and then we are going to roll out for today. Are you familiar with the infinite banking concept using life insurance? Asked Alan. Yes. Infinite banking, I believe, is connected to index universal life. I think index universal life policies can be okay. If you're not invested at all, they're really great because at least you have some sort of financial vehicle that's making you money. Remember this. This is a basic rule I'm going to give you for today. I want you to internalize this and understand this. Everybody should have a vehicle. Anybody that wants to be wealthy needs to have a vehicle, some sort of vehicle that allows your money to grow. You have to have some kind of vehicle. So, so because think about it, it's like trying to travel down the road. If you're trying to go 500 miles down the road, you need a vehicle to do that. If you're walking, you're never going to get down the road. It's going to take forever, right? So get a vehicle. I don't care if you got a bike, I don't care if you got a bus, if you have a sports car or a jet airplane, you need a vehicle. So the question to ask yourself is, what is my vehicle? So an index universal life policy, infinite banking, and all that, that is a vehicle. Is that the vehicle I use? No, I don't. Why? Well, because I got better vehicles. I look at IULs, Index Universal Life, like a Greyhound bus. A Greyhound bus will get you 500 miles down the road. It's better than walking. But I have jet airplanes in my hangar. I'm not gonna get out of my jet airplane and go get onto a Greyhound bus. You understand? But I think that if you have no vehicle, like if you're not investing consistently, or maybe you can't get the discipline, or you're afraid, or you don't understand what's going on, I get that. All that happens to a lot of people. Well, then get on the bus. At least you're moving. At least you're getting down the road. A lot of people don't even get on the bus. They don't get on the bus. They walk their whole lives because they can't fly an airplane. They're like, well, I can't fly an airplane. I don't know how to get. I don't know how to build a jet. You don't have to build a jet. Get a 10 speed. Everybody should have a vehicle that allows for your money to grow when you are not working. I think index universal life policies from legitimate insurance companies are a perfect vehicle for someone who does not have a vehicle. Even a susu. The Caribbeans use a lot of susus. That's where people pool their money together, and then every few weeks somebody gets a lump sum of money. Even a susu, the limitation of a susu is that your money's not growing. It should be invested, not just saved. But even a susu is better than nothing. At least you have some vehicle that's allowing you to accumulate resources. All wealthy people know how to do that other people don't know how to do is accumulate resources. That's it. They know how to pile it up. Whereas like if you're poor or you're broke, you're not piling it up. You're spending little bit by little bit, and then you're always broke because you're not piling something up somewhere. So the question is, where are you using some sort of vehicle for the accumulation of resources? If you figure that equation out, then you are better off than 98% of all people in this country. That's it. Okay, so let me keep going. Cody, why do companies perform stock splits? Companies do stock splits because they feel their stock price is too high. Maybe they have a price range they want their stock to trade in, or they have what they call a clientele effect. A clientele effect means maybe you say, we don't want our stock price to be $3,000 a share. We want to get a clientele that might buy a stock for $50 a share. So we're going to do a split so our stock price goes down so that we get a different clientele. So those are a couple of reasons why. But then there's also another effect where sometimes a stock split can rejuvenate energy in your stock. A lot of companies split their stock when the prices started going down because they were looking for something to give a spark to their stock price. And so it's like, you think about like a dead marriage, maybe you have a baby or you go on date night again. You're looking for anything that's going to give you a spark. So some companies will do a stock split to get a spark, even though there's no fundamental reason that the price of the company, the value of the company should change because of a split, but it does actually happen that way. Lid says limit price order or bid ask spread. Would you mind explaining how this works? Yeah, when you buy a stock, and it's also, by the way, if you log in at the blackstockmarketprogram.com, the bid ask spread is explained. It looks like I froze again, so I'm gonna stop talking for a second. until I stop freezing. All right. Okay. So I'm frozen.